I deal with a pretty bad eating disorder. I've just been struggling a lot physically, possibly might not be able to have kids because I kind of did it to myself.
This is NESSA Barrett. Lights are on. Nobody's home in this interview. Yes, the same NESSA Barrett that we all know from TikTok.
She tells her followers that she has made many changes in her life that have made her healthy and happier since going on tour.
Everyone likes to constantly talk about my god fucking weight.
NESSA Barrett has been concerning fans for years now, and it seems like everything has reached a breaking point. NESSA has been open about her various mental health issues and how moving to Los Angeles destroyed her self-identity. Fans are now more concerned than ever with some of NESSA's recent appearances, so let's get into it. Now, I've been following NESSA Barrett for a while now, and I watched her take her career from social media into music, and she's been really working on her music career and refining it, and honestly, her music is great. But recently, fans have noticed that NESSA just seems like she's not doing well. She's actually acknowledged this as well, and in today's video, I want to talk about what is going on with NESSA, and I want to try to do it in the most respectful way, because it is a touchy subject. I mean, we could talk about her relationship with Artemis and how that could be affecting things, and maybe we will later into this video, but let's talk about some of these articles out about NESSA. While NESSA has endured quite a bit of scrutiny throughout her career due to her romantic relationships and internet drama, the singer is now sparking concern from viewers due to her recent public appearances. Unfortunately, this isn't something new for NESSA. I mean, back in December 2023 is when she did this performance and fans started voicing their concerns. Now, here's a clip of her performing at one of her concerts, and of course, you know, she's really into the music, she sounds great, but fans again just are worried. I mean, looking at the comments, this person wrote, "Nah, low-key, I'm worried." Another person wrote, "I'm actually very concerned for this girl's health." Another pleaded, "NESSA, please get help." Now, even before that performance in December 2023, she did an interview in July 2023 with Zach Singh, and she was open about her issues with eating. She actually revealed in this interview that her struggle with eating disorders had led to her possibly being infertile. So it's gotten so serious to that point where there are long-term effects, and it honestly makes my heart break because I don't, you know, you can't, there's not like a quick fix or something you could say to someone to help them in this state. I mean, it truly is something that you need to go and really tackle for years and years, and this kind of thinking only gets worse, in my opinion, when you are bigger in the industry and going further in entertainment. And the fact that she's like left from social media to where you had a lot of control to where she's now a singer and there's a lot of pressure and there are labels, I do worry about her well-being.
I've just been struggling a lot physically and mentally, I guess, too, and it kind of hit me that I possibly might not be able to have kids. And so I think that's when I started to think about it, and I have cried before because I kind of did it to myself. And I was like, all I want to do is to be a mom. And so I think that's one of the reasons why I am motivated to recover.
Why wouldn't you be able to have kids?
I struggle. I deal with a pretty bad eating disorder. And it's been pretty bad for a little over a year now. But yeah, it's gone to a point where I know it's, you know, affected my body.
It's so sad to hear her say things like, "Oh, I did it to myself," because it's putting so much shame on herself, that shame that she doesn't need to add up and put more and more. I mean, it must be so depressing and distressing. The singer claimed that she had battled her ED for almost a year and relapsed during one of her tours, saying she was motivated to recover. You know what's wild? You could be walking down the street or headed to the grocery store, and then bam, you're in an accident. Suddenly you're dealing with injuries, bills, and an insurance company that's doing everything in its power to give you the bare minimum. It's gotta feel so frustrating. Insurance companies always seem to pull the same tricks, offering you the lowest settlement possible. But here's where Morgan & Morgan steps in and changes the game. Morgan & Morgan isn't just another law firm. They are America's largest injury law firm, with 1,000 attorneys and offices in each state ready to fight for you. You don't have to deal with those insurance companies alone anymore because they've got your back. Take this for example. This year, they got a client in Florida at $12 million, way more than what the insurance company was offering. Morgan & Morgan doesn't settle. They will continue to fight until you get what you deserve. And here's the kicker, the whole process is as easy as ordering takeout. You could submit everything from your phone. No need for paperwork marathons or endless appointments. And with Morgan & Morgan, you only pay if you win. So if you've been injured or you know somebody, don't just sit there. You can head over to forthepeople.com/Sloan, or you can check out the link in my description below. It's fast, it's easy, and it's free unless you win. Morgan & Morgan is the team that fights for you because they're for the people. Thank you for sponsoring this video and enjoy. So at this time, she was open about her relapse while she was on tour. Now that her music is becoming even more serious, fans are worried that she's in another low point.
This is Nessa Barrett. Lights are on. Nobody's home in this interview. Yes, the same Nessa Barrett that we all know from TikTok. After her and Jaden broke up is when she really started to change like her entire look. But Nessa going from this to this is like wild. I like the blonde, but I feel like she's definitely had some work done to her face, maybe like a nose job. And that's fine. Plastic surgery is so normalized now. But it's just the way she was talking and like her mouth wasn't moving. I don't know. I literally didn't know this was her when I first saw that interview clip. Like I was like, who is that? And I was like, oh my gosh, like that's Nessa. She sounds the same. She kind of looks the same, but she doesn't.
Now looking into Reddit, this has really affected people because they truly care about Nessa. And it goes beyond just something like surface level. It's something within her, a deeper feeling that people are reading when they see her on stage or performing music or even posting, where it seems like she's just really sad. This person wrote that Nessa's situation has been triggering to them. I learned about her from a different sub and I got curious, but ended up turning into a rabbit hole of a negativity spiral. Another person wrote, I have a really weird reality with her too. Like I get that she is sick and she is aware but that she's sick, but she's been to therapy and stuff. But if she was really committed, she wouldn't be alone all the time if she knows she can't do it alone. I feel like she's waiting for someone to save her and she has to do it herself. Now in early 2023, she did address her eating disorder in a post, but it seems like it's been a constant battle for her. I mean, it's similar to like if you can't like conceptualize it, think about it like addiction or things like that. Like you are in recovery for years and years and years because it doesn't just go away.
Nessa Barrett opened up about her ED in a new post today. She tells her followers that she has made many changes in her life that have made her healthy and happier since going on tour. She says that she relapsed in her ED a year ago, and she heavily struggled until recently. She realized the only way she could get through her shows was by being healthier, not just physically, but also mentally. Nessa went on to say that I made my post to not only bring awareness, but to hold myself accountable. You guys saved me, and it's so important for me to continue to be vulnerable because this is what my music is all about. Nessa also mentions that she no longer has social media on her phone for her own mental sake, but she wants her fans to know how grateful she is because they saved her. And I love to see former besties Sabrina and Mads Lewis supporting Nessa.
Now, looking at this piece from Nylon, Nessa Barrett was opening up about her lifelong eating disorder, saying, I didn't know it was a problem. She writes, my eating disorder started when I was in middle school. Growing up, I moved around New Jersey a lot, and I just enrolled in a new school. There, I was a growing 12-year-old with new friends. I became very insecure and would constantly compare myself to them. In my diary, I drew myself as a blob and them as stick figures. I thought I wanted to look like them. Sounds really relatable, honestly, like to, I'm sure, a lot of people. At first, I would have my mom pack my lunch, or I'd be like, hey mom, I'm going to get lunch at school, and then not eat anything. Sometimes I'd hide my dinner, or say I was eating it in my room and flush it down the bathroom toilet. I would see how long I can go without eating any food. I developed such a negative relationship with food, which I used to love so much. I'll go on Tumblr and look up pro Anna stuff. As a young girl, it was just so terrible to look at, but I was obsessed and I didn't really know it was a problem. At 18, I was diagnosed with BPD, borderline personality disorder, and later learned that eating disorders can often occur alongside with BPD. As soon as I came out to LA and started my music career, my eating got bad again. At first, I was going back and forth home in LA, and I didn't get the full LA experience. I wasn't dealing with the hate comments at that time or people judging what my body looked like. I was just so excited to be there, and I was doing something with my life. But as soon as I officially moved, I didn't have a guardian or anyone that cared or watched what I ate. I didn't eat anything. I didn't have bulimic tendencies until I came to LA. As someone who does live in LA, I must acknowledge that there is definitely a culture there where people feel hyperfixated on their weight and their appearance and their look. And I think it just kind of goes with the community and the careers there. It's just kind of like a toxic spiral where if you go there, you won't ever feel good enough. It's just part of living there. You kind of have to either accept yourself and move along, or you will succumb to it. She writes, freedom can cause someone who deals with mental health issues to do so much. I could do whatever I wanted, whatever my brain told me to do, because no one was telling me to do something else. My mom had always been big on trying to make me eat and making sure I was eating. Not having her around made it easy to do what I wanted, while I also constantly compare myself to everyone here. This was the time where I started seeing comments from people asking if I was pregnant, saying, oh, she gained weight. I have had comments from people really close to me about my weight loss. Ooh, so it gets personal. She writes, I've seen texts where someone has literally written someone else saying, Nessa looks so fat right now. I know what people say about me. Also, Nessa Bear's never been fat, so that is really unfortunate. I've never spoken about this before, but at that time I developed a substance abuse habit behind everyone's back. For probably 6 months, I was doing certain substances that make you uninterested in eating, which sounds like cocaine, which is also something that she's been accused of maybe being into nowadays, and her boyfriend, Artemis, doesn't help. She said, and I started loving it. When I started dating Jaden, he helped me quit. I got sober and that took a toll because I didn't have my substance controlling my hunger anymore. Right now, I think my eating disorder is probably the worst it's ever been. I'm really good at keeping things to myself, especially when I'm embarrassed by it. This is the first time I've ever opened up about struggling with my eating. I've been vocal about other things with mental health issues, but this one's different. I'm still struggling, she writes. I have a lot of people around me who are very supportive and actually love and care about me, but I'm still struggling. I see so many versions of myself. I see the person that is online, the person that is actually me, and then I see the person in the mirror, and they're all so different. She adds, if I told anyone right now that I was ready for recovery, I'd be lying. Now, she put a lot on the table, and honestly, like, kudos to her. I mean, the problem, there's two sides of this. One is really beautiful that she's opening up and sharing, and I think it's rather healing for her, but it also puts it all out there in the public, which then puts kind of like a record onto this, and now people know more about her. So then, you know, this was released in 2023, speed up to 2024, and some of these recent interviews she's been doing, we've seen a Nessa that we've never seen before, and it makes us question if in this, you know, essay that she had wrote, this letter, if she's maybe using again and also struggling at the same time, and this mix could be detrimental to her health. And as someone who's kind of been crying out for help for a couple years now, I feel like now is more crucial than ever.
Hi Teen Vogue, I'm Nessa Bear, and this is the playlist of my life. The song that is always playing in my memories from my childhood has to be Hotel California by the Eagles. My dad was a really big fan, and it's very nostalgic. My middle school dance song has to be Like a G6 by Far East Movement. That was definitely when I was in middle school, right? Or in high school.
And another clip with Jay Shetty, who I've actually got a video exposing him coming up very soon, if it's not already out. But yeah, keep an eye out for this one. Nessa actually goes on to open up about her eating disorder with Jay. Again, this guy is not licensed in anything. He's not certified in anything. Do not go and take his advice, but he, like, you know, slithered his way into Hollywood, as you guys will see in my video. And here's a little snippet of their interview.
What would you like people to know about anorexia so that they're aware?
There's not a look to it. And I feel like it's so damaging when there's a common idea or image, you know, of how someone that is anorexic should look, or how someone that struggles with an eating disorder should look. That doesn't matter at all. But just, it's impossible to understand something like anorexia if you have not gone through it before. Saying what I struggle with out loud, and the whole idea of it, me being obsessive and scared over food and obsessive with calories and terrified of weight gain and a control thing and all the things that I allow myself to believe, which they're all lies, and how my brain processes things and all of that stuff. I know that it's not real, and I know that it's all lies, you know, and I know it's absolutely delusional, but that's the disorder. That's what happens.
Now, Nessa has hit her breaking point with being so open with the public. She actually released a 6-minute video where she rants at the critics who are talking to her about her disordered eating and how she looks. The shocking video saw Nessa holding back tears as she noted that the hate comments were insane and branded people on the web ridiculous. She previously opened up about her struggles with food and mental health issues, once telling fans that she spent time in a traumatizing psych ward. Nessa's plea for peace came after she sparked health concerns with her latest Elite Daily interview that sent fans questioning if she was struggling with her ED again. Having long battled anxiety, depression, borderline personality disorder, and an eating disorder, the worrisome interview caused fans to question if the star had gotten mixed up with drugs, as they claimed that she looked thinner than ever. Nessa hit back at the claims, insisting that she's in recovery and that this stuff takes time. She noted that she'd been dealing with an immense amount of hate over the last several months, and that her recent weight loss is due to stress and anxiety. Let's react to some of Nessa's clip together.
Literally, what the f is going on? What the f is going on? Imagine how it feels for thousands and thousands of people to say shit about your life and about you, and none of it is true. And oh my god, I think I like am starting to go insane. Sorry, I'm eating a Starburst, but every time I go on this app, every time I see a new video of people saying how concerned they are about me and how like no one in my life helps me or cares about me, how I'm on drugs. Or are you guys insane? Like,
well, wait, also just to give, like, not to debate her, but in her essay she literally wrote that her mom was like away, she has no one there, and that she like was using in the past, but again, she said she since has been in recovery and clean, so we must take her word.
I'm so sorry, but like, first of all, no, that claim is just absolutely fucking ridiculous. I don't touch that shit, and I don't surround myself with people that touch that shit. So what the fuck?
Now, NESSA did later reveal that she's only on one medication, her mood stabilizers, and occasionally an ADHD medication. She said, everyone likes to constantly talk about my effing weight in my body. Shut the F up. She said, I've been dealing with an immense amount of hate for 6 months. I had an album coming out. I was so stressed and anxious that all the time that I started losing weight. Also, I wanted to note that in that little bit, I kind of felt like there was like something that triggered her to do this rant, and it could have been like, again, this is a theory, but like imagine like a record label being like, hey, we don't really like how everyone's talking about you and being concerned about you online, like this doesn't really go with the image that we imagined for you, like, do you want to be dropped, or do you want to delay your album, or something along those lines. And that's just a theory, but I could totally see a record label or an executive getting into her life and complaining to her because people are concerned.
Everyone likes to constantly talk about my god fucking weight and my body. Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! Let me be so fucking real with you. One, I just really hate that I ever felt comfortable enough to be vulnerable to open up about my eating disorder in the first place, because that has just allowed people to say whatever the they want, whenever the they want, and use it against me constantly, and it's just not cool or right. See, people lose weight for many different reasons.
She goes on to say, it's so insane how 2D social media is, but you have never known me, no matter how much you think you do. How could you expect anyone to get better when this is like constantly thrown at your face? Like, let's stop speculating maybe and let me be me. It does sound very defensive. I mean, I don't know. But maybe she has the right to. Also, like, I'm a 22-year-old woman, she says, and I have my stuff figured out. Like, I can handle myself. I'm sick of being treated like a baby. She does go on to say, yeah, I got my effing nose done. So what? So she does acknowledge that, saying that she's tired of the weight loss comments, but yeah, she got her nose done. So, at least she's honest about it. She's really honest about everything, huh? She just puts it all out there.
It's absolutely ridiculous that I even have to explain myself or to tell you something that's so personal, but I'm about to go on a little rant and say something that honestly is no one's business, but I feel like I have to. So when I started to lose weight recently, was because of stress and anxiety. I've been dealing with an immense amount of hate for like 6 months now. I had an album coming out. I was so stressed and anxious all the time. I started losing weight, and then everyone started to comment on it. And so before I could even notice, because of everyone's comments, yes, it manifested in my eating disorder. Oh my god, thank you for telling me.
Now, as of 3 days before the research for this video, we did find NESSA addressing some people recently in a TikTok video. She writes, before you comment anything about my body, this is what recovering looks like. So again, kind of addressing the recovery situation. And it looks like it got over 700,000 likes. So people are definitely like tune into NESSA's life. Whatever NESSA is going through, we are sending her so much love from the channel. I have had issues with my own eating in the past, and it's something that I've also gotten, actually this year was probably the best year I've had in like 15 years. So things have gotten a lot better for me, but there are, opportunities and ways to help yourself if you do need help. And it does take a lot of work. I totally can see it, but it's so sad to see like her publicly struggling, and just, people become attached to her and her music, and it means something to them and they care about her. So sending love to NESSA Barrett. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in another one soon. Bye guys.